Hey everyone, welcome to the Quiet Hour.
Yep.
We're in my room.
Yeah, we are currently in Josh's room. So, today's episode, and just in case you've never seen the Quiet Hour before, this is the podcast type deal that we started up on the channel, where we talk about like whatever we've been watching, what we've been playing, just stuff that we want to kind of share and just talk about. And yeah.
Yeah, like the first episode we covered Deadpool, which we had just seen.
Laser Team,
the Rooster Teeth
YouTube Red,
which was available on YouTube Red, and it was available in some theaters.
Yeah,
and I believe we talked about Undertale.
Yeah, we had some Undertale discussion.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so today's episode, we're gonna be tackling Gravity Falls. Casey and I have both watched it twice, essentially.
Yeah.
More Casey twice. I've seen a couple more of the episodes the second time through. And Josh has just finished watching it for the first time, so we thought we'd take an episode just to discuss our thoughts on it.
Yeah.
All right, so what I've done is I prepared some questions for all of us to answer, like a questionnaire type thing. So first off, what is your favorite thing about Gravity Falls? Anyone can feel free to jump in.
I feel like Josh, this is his first time watching like the show. I feel like he should answer.
Yeah, go ahead, dude.
My favorite is probably Mabel.
Mabel?
Just 'cause she's like,
okay. Wait, is that your favorite thing about the show, or is that favorite character? Because that's a question too.
Probably my favorite thing about the show is probably just the characters itself.
Okay, like the characters as a whole.
Yeah, I love the character development.
Really good
show.
Characters.
I think a lot of the characters are funny. They crack some funny shit.
Oh yeah. They're super. A lot of them are relatable at times and super well developed.
Yeah,
definitely. What about you, Casey?
Well, real quick, I feel like we should preface this with like a spoiler alert.
Definitely. Okay, so we're not going to be going episode by episode talking in depth, but there will be spoilers for this because we're talking about the show as a whole. And I mean, yeah, so there will be spoilers on it. So if you have not watched
pause the video, watch the entire 2 seasons.
It won't take you that long, especially because it's an easy show to binge.
It's about 14 hours.
We'll be doing you a favor because it's that fucking good.
It's fantastic.
All right, definitely. All right, spoiler alert is up, Casey.
But so my favorite thing about the show, kind of similar to Josh, is I love the detail in the characters.
Definitely.
I love the setting. The dialogue is fantastic. The plot is fantastic.
It's just one of those shows that has it
has all
the right amount of everything, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot of reoccurring and everything.
Yeah, like characters come back even though like they might not play an important role, but they're there for it's a laughing joke,
definitely
kind of thing. There's a lot of it's great because it seems kind of like a kid show because it's on Disney XD, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of adult humor in it.
There definitely is. I think it's one of those shows that anyone can enjoy something.
Yeah.
There's something for everyone to enjoy. I think I told you briefly about this when we were finishing it up for the second time. My personal favorite thing is definitely the mythos of the whole world. The whole the fact that there is this larger conspiracy. The whole bigger mystery behind, and it's exactly what Dipper's, fascination with everything is that there's so much more going on than meets the eye, so that's probably one of my favorite things about that.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's move on to our next question. Can you sum up your thoughts on the show in one sentence?
In one sentence?
In one sentence.
That's,
I tried to throw out some tricky ones here.
Ooh. I'm gonna say it's a show that'll make you laugh, that'll confuse you, kind of.
Okay.
And it'll make you cry, but it's bittersweet.
That is exactly my thing. It is a bittersweet, especially towards the end. It is a bittersweet goodbye, essentially. And that kind of encompasses it from the very beginning because in the very first episode, you're set up and this is Dipper and Mabel Pines. This in their summer. This is their summer, and from the beginning, I mean, when you look at it in retrospect, you know from the beginning summer is going to end.
Yeah.
It's super bittersweet when it finally does, because you really
they all grow up,
and that's exactly what Josh and Casey were just saying. How the characters develop so well, and you grow to love those characters so much. Yeah. Definitely. Josh, can you do?
If I were to say this show in a sentence, it's definitely a show that will throw you off.
Okay.
I don't watch a lot of the Disney XD channel or shows in this. I don't watch a lot of it, but when you guys told me about the show and I watched it, I was like, oh my fucking god, this shit's so good.
It's not necessarily something you'd expect from a Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people have become jaded towards like the newer like cartoons.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. I definitely agree with you there.
I mean, like Adventure Time for the first couple seasons was really good, and then it just kind of like got weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it was just like each episode. Like there were some episodes that like strove towards a plot, but like the further and further you got into the series, the fewer and fewer those were like in between, and it was just filler.
The thing about Gravity Falls is one of those things that it's such a confined experience. It knows what it is, and it's so like fully realized. Yeah. So and there is no filler. I don't think.
Even episodes that like at the beginning seem like they're fillers,
exactly.
Like promote
when you
promote some kind of like
piece,
furthering
piece to the main plot.
Exactly, totally random.
I think like a perfect example of that is the Mabel's Unicorn episode, because it's just like a kind of like Mabel being Mabel, but in the grand scheme of things, she is getting the unicorn hair so that Great Uncle Ford can bill-proof the house. So that when you come back, is it part 2 of Weirdmageddon, and everyone is huddled up in the Mystery Shack because they had gotten that, like they brought that back, on almost like something you'd almost like dismiss as just kind of a one-off joke kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that all right. Slightly easier question. I think Josh already answered this. Who's your favorite character?
Mabel.
Yeah, perfect. What about you, Casey?
I mean, it's pretty easy for me too. Seuss is my spirit animal.
I definitely feel that.
The funniest character, in my opinion.
Oh, he's like
savage.
He's it's hard to say it. Like he's the comic relief, just because every character brings comedy to the show. Yeah, but I feel like he's like.
He's the joke man.
He is, yeah. He's like he's the
meme master.
Yeah.
He really is, dude.
Yeah.
And personally, I'd have to. Man, it's really tough because they're all really good. But going back to what I was saying about the whole like conspiracy idea, when they introduced Ford about halfway through season 2, roughly. Yeah. That was like a huge revelation, and it blew my mind. And Ford really stuck with me. So I'm probably going to go with Ford on that one.
Nice.
All right.
Choice.
Now, okay. Flip side of that coin, least favorite character.
Oh, man. I can probably name a few.
Can we just safely assume it's Robbie?
I would say either Bill, Robbie, or Gideon. One of those three.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't agree with you on Bill, because I think Bill is a very cool character.
I think I enjoyed like Bill's
he's a good villain.
He's a villain you love to hate.
You're supposed to hate him. So but like when I say least favorite character, like a character that you just did not gel with, I think
probably that guy that smells like 100 100 gallons of body spray.
Oh yeah, Bobby. Yeah. Oh god. And I have to agree. Robbie is like the one I relate to the least out of every character in that show.
Definitely. Yeah. It's kind of funny because it becomes a running joke at times, just how shitty he is.
Basically.
All right. Okay. Now favorite episode.
Personally, my favorite episode is the Dungeons and More Dungeons episode.
Over break, when Casey messaged me and said that he was starting to watch Gravity Falls, I told him, get ready for that Dungeons and Dragons based episode because it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like it perfectly highlights the struggle of enjoying like D&D and trying to get more people into it. They're like, "What? This game's fucking stupid."
It's mad.
And then it's like, "Just try it. Just try it." And they're like, "Oh, that shit's actually pretty fun." And I'm like, "No, you know, I've been trying to tell you the whole time."
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Josh? Would you agree, or do you have another favorite?
I think one of my favorites is probably the convenience store episode.
That's a great one.
Yeah, that's another good one.
It's like my favorite part is when Mabel's like eating all the smile dip, and she starts hallucinating and sees all these fucking like dreams like you would see like when you're taking acid or something. I was literally dying when I saw that.
That's a great episode.
Oh.
What's your favorite episode?
I'm torn, actually, between two.
Okay.
What the first one being, I think if like there's an episode to like sum up Gravity Falls, and not necessarily the whole grand scheme of things, but like just to like sum up like what Gravity Falls is and who those characters are, the fishing episode in season 1 I think is perfect for that because you really get a good look into Dipper and Mabel and their relationship as brother and sister, and their relationship with Stan.
And even Seuss.
Exactly. Yeah.
Seuss.
Definitely. So, and of course, Weird Mageddon Part 3.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out answer.
Well, I mean, that's 2 episodes kind of combined. Because
it's like a 40-minute episode. Each are about 20-ish.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So, I feel like that's kind of a cop-out because, you know, it's the end. It's supposed to be, like, the big dramatic finale, but
it's like
that goodbye is just, like, single tear.
Leaves a hole in my heart.
I know.
It really does. But for a non-cop-out-y answer, I'm going to go with the fishing episode. Yeah. Man. All right. Ooh, here's a fun one. How would you guys reboot the show if it were approved for a 3rd season?
I mean, the only way to really do it
is during next summer.
I would
like
say winter break.
Winter break?
Okay.
All
right. I hadn't even thought about that.
You come back and it's like, because it's, I don't know the like weather in Oregon or not. Maybe it's snowing.
Yeah.
And there's like new
creatures.
New creatures and whatnot roaming about in the winter. Mm-hmm. So they have to
like different seasons. There's like new creatures come out.
Yeah, and like Ford and Stan come back for a little bit because like there's new creatures here that Ford has never seen before.
Yeah, Ford had to come back.
They never did have a Christmas episode too.
That is true. Hey,
they did.
Every series needs a Christmas special.
They got away with the
Halloween, the Summerween.
Summerween.
That's another great episode.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think it would be able to go as a season 3, but I think if you did it like almost like a sequel to the show, where Dipper and Mabel like are possibly like grown up, and Dipper has become like the new Ford. He's assumed like his role of like the crazy conspiracy man who like knows everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And Mabel is his Stan, who's just like the crazy like off doing whatever they want type character.
Yeah.
And you know, their great niece and nephew come to stay with them in Gravity Falls. I don't know.
I just hope they don't make a live action movie.
That's a way to kill anything real quick.
There you go. All right. So this is something I've already talked about just a tad. Were you satisfied with the ending?
Well, I mean, yeah, it was a great ending. It wrapped it up really nicely, which makes me sad because I want more of it.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a difference between being satisfied, I feel like, and wanting more.
No, I definitely agree
because
with you.
It's like it brought a lot of closure to the show, and it's like this is now what they're doing now.
Like the story has ended, but you still want to stay in that world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see just anything continue happening in the town of Gravity Falls.
Of course, when I initially finished the show, of course I looked for is there anything else that is happening with this IP, and they had talked about possibly doing some comics, but nothing has arisen from that. But if there were some Gravity Falls comics, I'd be all over that.
Same,
because
I'd fucking buy that shit right up. I got hella Barnes and Noble's gift cards.
So what about you, Josh? Are you satisfied with the ending?
I was satisfied because, like you guys said, it was bittersweet. It didn't leave you hanging with Stan losing his memory. It was gradually over. He was regaining his memory.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Mabel and Dipper made up. They did their awkward hug.
Yeah. Sincere sibling hug.
We
what? What's on your mind, Casey?
Real quick, going back to the last one about how to do it, season 3.
How to reboot the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just thought of something because as Stan regains his memory, maybe Bill is coming back to life as well.
Ooh,
because he was stuck
good...
in Stan's head. So as he regained his memory, Bill is laying low and coming back.
He's rebuilding his strength.
Yeah, he's trying to plot the next Weirdmageddon.
Oh my god, that's actually a really good idea.
That's a good idea.
And maybe he even takes control of Stan and is trying to manipulate Ford.
Definitely.
That just literally popped out of my
No, that's actually honestly, that'd be a really good new plot way to bring the show back together.
Yeah.
That's really good. And Josh, you said you were satisfied with the ending?
Yeah, I'm definitely satisfied.
Yeah, I'm right there with you guys. It's like we've already said 1,000 times. It's a bittersweet experience, but it knows what it is and it's confined and that is the story. Now it's over.
It's if I do want more, I'd probably just watch it over again because it's
honestly.
good.
And it's the second. Question on the fly here, Casey. Watching it the second time, what did that bring to you? Was that what did you notice any more flaws? Did you love it even more?
I didn't notice flaws.
Okay.
I noticed things I didn't notice the first time.
Exactly.
With what's his name? Blendon?
Morty?
Yeah. Well, I mean, watching it with a friend is also a unique experience as well. I watched it by myself the first time, and I think watching it and then maybe discussing it with a friend as well really adds to it. But going back and watching the episodes and watching as Blendon picks up random stuff in the background, and I'm oh, I never saw that the first time I went through, or just these random things, and really getting to appreciate how everything really builds up to the thing in the end, seeing how it all leads to Weirdmageddon.
Exactly.
It's just oh wow, this works really well.
Something I don't think I told you guys when we were finishing it up the other night. I was reading just a random post about the show because I just wanted to know more, I guess. And but a year before the first episode aired, Weirdmageddon, the trilogy, had already been written out. So from the beginning,
oh wow,
that was
really?
He knew exactly where Alex Hirsch. He knew exactly where the show was going to end exactly.
Yeah.
So I think, and going back to the whole thought of being satisfied with the ending, he knew exactly where he wanted to start and where it was going to end. There was no we'll make it up as we go.
Yeah.
So definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Next question. Who is your favorite antagonist?
I feel like I've already mentioned this.
Okay.
With because I said obviously Bill.
Definitely.
I think just his shenanigans and his way of being evil.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's this psychotic, absolutely no sense. It's Weirdmageddon. It's not the end of the world. It's the end of the world in a weird way.
He
just driving just fusing two dimensions together.
He is this show's
absolutely no sense.
Yeah, he is this show's Joker essentially.
And I wouldn't even really compare the two, to be honest.
Like
because the Joker does do all these like crazy and psychotic things, but it's to mess with. Like, it's because he has that relationship with Batman.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
Bill has, like, a separate agenda, and he's also doing these things to mess with, like, he's trying to take over the show's, like, universe, essentially. Sure. And even you can even see how he, like, absolutely messes with it, with the intro to the show. Like, it replaces at the very at the very end of the intro. There's like a picture where it's like all the characters there, and but it's Bill in a bunch of that clothing, like all their clothing, like, and it's just like he's so strange and weird, and it's just like he it's hard to describe.
No, there's definitely more mystery to the character.
Yeah, and you don't even know where he comes from.
Exactly.
Like,
which goes back to the whole thing, like, my favorite thing being, like, the whole mythos of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why is, like, there's still, like, technically a lot of things still weren't even answered. Like, like, there's so much more, like, open-ended. Like, granted, the Pines story is, pretty much over, but, like, there's still so much more to learn about that world and why everything is.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, now...
who's your guys' favorite antagonist?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm right there with you, dude. I gotta go with Bill. But, Josh, you mentioned earlier that you don't really think you like Bill that much.
You also said you didn't even like Bill.
I like the, like, each individual episode's, like sort of antagonist. Like,
okay. So, like, the smaller...
Yeah, like, the smaller, like...
so, like, for example, in, like, the fishing episode... It's it's Magaki in the lake monster.
Like
the first episode, the gnomes.
Yeah, the gnomes, the zombies.
The convenience store with the two ghosts.
Skirmish, the fighter guy.
Rumble McSkirmish.
Oh, Rumble McSkirmish.
He was pretty funny. I also like the golf people.
Yeah, that episode's great too.
That was good. And Giffany was another funny one.
Oh yeah, that dude. All the Seuss episodes.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, all the Seuss episodes are really like up there with my favorite. Like if I wasn't into D&D so much, I probably would have chosen either like the episode where they go back in time to figure out.
Oh, I almost forgot about
why
that.
Seuss hates
such
his birthday.
A good one.
Yeah,
it's like it hits like on an emotional level because it's like, oh my god, he's like never known his father.
Like there were two like characters that like really like you wouldn't expect that like deep of a backstory, and for me that was Seuss and Fiddleford McGucket.
Yeah, it was like the way they suddenly like brought him to the forefront. Yeah, and he's like, oh,
as a character that
this is like, a character that you need to care about.
That you,
and it's like, and you like the whole show, you've been like brushing him off as like
you would dismiss him normally.
Exactly,
as some like hobo old man.
Yeah, but like there's a reason why he's like that, and it's so much deeper than like
what he's portrayed as.
Exactly, and that's really cool. So so that was definitely like a really surprising thing. Now here I think this might be one of the toughest questions. Probably going to be the toughest question for me to answer. What was the thing that disappointed you most about the show?
Kind of, even though it's
besides like the shortness of it all.
I was gonna say like I'm disappointed that I'm satisfied.
Okay,
if that makes any sense, because it's like I'm sad and like disappointed that it ended so perfectly because I would have loved for it to like have a cliffhanger, so there's more, so there's more, and it's just like I'm like, it makes me so sad.
Here's the thing: if they left it off where Stan had not recovered his memory, that would have left it perfectly into the next
into another season.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I feel like. Even though you told me not to say, I feel like the flaw of this show is there's just not enough of it.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, no, I
mean, like, I
no, you prefaced it well, so I understand. I'll allow it.
It's just like, I love the art style. I thought the art style was fine.
No, it's perfect. It kind of remards me of like a kind of more toned down, like Fairly Odd Parents style, like the thick black outline.
Yeah.
So,
like as I said, the dialogue, the plot, the characters, the humor, everything is just so well and flushed out.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pick something.
It's hard to say.
Other than the fact that
it's hard to pick out a flaw out of the show because it's so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you just said it's hard, but Josh, could you possibly... Could you possibly, like, one tiny thing that maybe did not quite set right with you?
Well, I mean, I think I have another one.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So, what I was kind of sad about was, like when the episode with the ghost and the Northwest Manor.
Okay.
Where you kind of see Pacifica as, like, oh, she's actually a decent person. And I was hoping that, like, you know, maybe, like Dipper would be like, oh, Wendy's like too old, and then maybe like see like a growing friendship between Pacifica and Dipper, and like so they kind of see a maturity on both of their ends, where Dipper's like, I can finally like get over Wendy as like a crush.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's like some fan fiction shit.
Yeah, I was seeing some fan fiction.
Honestly,
shit
that brings
when she was
perfectly.
like all sad, and the Dipper's like, "Don't worry."
Yeah, and it was just like, and then like, you know, she saves him, and they're like at the end of like rubbing mud into like her parents' like favorite carpet or whatever, and I'm like, there should have been at least more than like the thing where it's like, oh, I don't like you still, but whatever, that resentment. I felt like there should have been more growth on her part, or Pacifica.
Sure, no, I definitely agree. I think she's one of the less like developed characters.
Yeah, because there's really only like that episode, the Pioneer Day and the mini golf that really talk about her.
Yeah, really focus on her.
Pioneer Day doesn't even. It's kind of.
Yeah.
Like the story is driven by that, but it's like. Like, it's just totally random.
No, I understand.
And even that episode's more about Mabel being silly rather than...
Exactly. Exactly.
Which was pointed out by Pacifica.
Right.
Which is, like, her tie into it.
Yeah. Personally, for me, what am I saying? I'm probably going to have to say, because we were just talking about Dipper and his crush on Wendy, I'd probably say, like, Dipper's obsession with Wendy was something that kind of, like, threw me off of, like, Dipper's character. Because when he comes to Gravity Falls and becomes obsessed with these journals and finding the author and, like, learning more, and then, like, on, like, the next step, like, there'll be a big revelation, a big breakthrough. And, like, next episode, it's, like, you know, not necessarily a Wendy-centric episode, but, like, it's a Dipper crushing on Wendy-centric episode.
I think I know where they go into the...
Like the bunker one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's, like, the second episode of season 2.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first one was, like, the zombie attack.
Exactly.
Where they found out there's the black light. Like the invisible ink, and then that's where
there's so much more to like learn about the journals and everything. It's like even still like that's like really nitpicking for me. Like that's like super nitpicking. Like like honestly, it doesn't really bother me that much. But I'd have to like if I had to like really choose something, that's what I would go with. I think it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
like, it ties into the episode well, at least.
Exactly. All right, now I think we've answered this question at least like 20 times. But what made the show so good?
I guess to like recap, just the dialogue, the characters, the humor, as you said, the mythos.
Definitely.
Just everything is so flushed out.
Definitely.
And then, what was it the other day? We tried watching that other show. And
it
was ripping off of
It was basically, I think it was Star Princess or whatever. Because it was like on Hulu. And it was
this
like
a Disney XD show?
It was, yeah. And it was just like, it was like super, like they had like the kid who was like nerdy and like they called him, it was like the safest kid in his school, where like he was like just like he was trying to be bad, but it wasn't working.
He's like
kind of like basically Dipper.
Yeah.
And then
but no personality to it.
Well, but it just felt so like it was trying way too hard,
like super forced.
It was so it felt so forced, and then like there was like basically the Mabel character, which was like Star or whatever.
Yeah, she was like
super hyper, like always positive.
Okay.
And it was just like what they even had a character that was like super greedy, like Stan.
Okay.
Yeah. And,
it was just
the first bad guy is basically Gideon in that.
Yeah, it's like a short little small person.
That makes me wonder if Disney XD, because like I'm sure on paper this show sounds very similar to Gravity Falls, especially on paper, more like because it's and then even they're in Disney XD with the success of Gravity Falls.
Yeah,
they're like
to create something similar.
Like this is the type of show that people are gonna like.
And it's
but Gravity Falls still like it goes beyond like what it is on paper. Just like you have your nerdy like kind of conspiracy theory guy, and then you have his twin sister who's loopy and kind of all over the place.
Goofy, silly.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's stereotypes in a way, but
the introvert and the extrovert.
Exactly. So but Gravity Falls carries that extra charm with it that makes it work so well.
Definitely.
So from whatever other show you guys were watching, I definitely think it just doesn't possess that same.
Yeah, it definitely like. It had no life.
There was no.
I feel like that's the best way to describe it.
There was no hook on it.
Yeah, like it just it felt forced. It felt like it didn't like they didn't care about how the show or like about the show at all. Just how it did.
Okay.
And it really didn't get my interest. Probably just because I'd finished watching that. I think if you were to. Like, if you wanted to watch that show for some reason, probably watch that and then Gravity Falls.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but it's just like almost immediately, like it's just like, oh yeah, there's monsters and shit. Whereas like with Gravity Falls, it was like you just see, oh shit, a monster like immediately, but then it's like, oh, but here's how we get here, and then there wasn't really a oh, but here's how we get here kind of moment.
And there's also, I believe that Gravity Falls, if you took away the grander mystery, you took away like the fact that Gravity Falls is a supernatural place, just the antics that Stan, Mabel, and Dipper, and their whole crew get up to, that show could stand on its own. If you took away the whole...
Literally, like the pool episode minus Mermando. Is like that's literally like is like that was in my opinion like the stupidest like mythical creature thing. It was I don't know.
No, I'm definitely right there with you. But like I think like I swear if you took away the whole like driving force of Dipper trying to solve these mysteries, the show would still stand on its own legs. I don't think it'd be as good as it is. Definitely. I don't think it would be a phenomenal show. It'd still be a good show.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, this has it. All right. So that's all the questions that I have for you guys. Is there any final thoughts that you guys want to leave off on about Gravity Falls?
Honestly, I don't think we really need to beat it dead anymore.
I know.
We pretty much like it's
sucked this show's dick enough.
Yeah. Sucked it dry.
Really.
No, it's just a show that we all like genuinely really really liked.
Yeah,
I was like so good. It's like I want more, but I don't.
I mean, yeah, it's just it's hard to like describe. You know, the feeling where it's like you're satisfied with what you got, but you want more, even though you know it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah,
or at least for a while.
For a while. Who knows? Who knows? I feel like for now, I think what they should do is just start doing some like extra stuff, like comics. I think comics is the way for them to go now.
Do like a kind of like something involving like Dipper and Mabel in high school, or one with like Seuss and Wendy at the and what was her name?
They can be like little like slices of life of like the characters.
What was her name? What was Seuss's girlfriend's name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Melanie.
Melanie.
Okay, there you go.
And Melanie and like Wendy
working at the Mystery Shack.
The Mystery Shack, and then talk about Ford and Stanley on the Stan
Award 2.
Like and all the crazy shit they find.
Yeah. So, in short, did you like Gravity Falls?
I didn't like it. I loved it.
Josh.
Well, I love it. It's a great show.
Yeah. All right. I think it's a pretty solid conclusion. Gravity Falls is a fucking great show. We all really genuinely enjoyed that.
Watch that shit, yo.
Yeah, definitely. If you have not watched it, watch it. If you have watched
Trust the silly.
go watch it again. All right.
If you haven't watched it and you made it this far, you now know the plot. So
more or less.
Anyway, watch it anyway because you'll see what happens.
All right, guys. This is it for this episode of The Quiet Hour, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
Boy.